Team Empire's turn to ban. Team Liquid's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Team Empire's turn to ban. Team Liquid's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Empire's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Gyrocopter!
Team Liquid's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, guys. Game number 3 here. The best of 5 grand finals for D2CL Season 6. Team Liquid against Team Empire. And currently Team Liquid are 2 games up. Good old start. Team Empire, they've got to try and claw their way back into the series. But the draft, it's begun. Got ourselves started in here, and again, a little bit different in the old picks this time around. We've started off with the Darks here for Liquid, Gyro for Empire once more, but the Dazzle and Bane, pretty interesting for defensive supports. And my co-caster tonight, Clairvoyant's going to continue with me through the best of 5. What do you think about these openings? Because Empire don't seem to be doing anything drastically different in this draft.
5 seconds
Right.
remaining.
If anything, even Liquid, I wouldn't argue that they're doing anything too out of the ordinary. But it's certainly out of the ordinary for this series so far from what they've been demonstrating. They've picked up the Darkseer here, and they've also picked up the Dazzle, which I don't believe they've been playing for a very long time. But hey, it complements the 5-man lineups, and it takes away the Dazzle from the enemy in case they want to run it with the Darkseer and the Gyrocopter, or against the Darkseer with the Gyrocopter. Of course, Empire's already picked up the Bane, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of purple heroes in the pool so far.
Well, that's very true. Team Liquid, I want to say in like 90-80% of the games they banned Dazzle in the first phase, like as one of their first bans. It's almost become their kind of thing. They banned Dazzle in a game against Complexity. They let Complexity ban it in the next game, and then a couple of games against Arcade. Dazzle was banned out as well. Well, this time Liquid getting their hands on that, and pretty versatile hero. But look at that, Team Empire. We've got Gyro. Should we ban out, guys? You know, Huskar's a pretty good hero right here, and the team definitely showed that in game number 1, so I'll take that out of the hero pool.
Yeah, and as soon as Resolution clicked that hero, he's having recollections of it.
Yep. Don't want to handle that again. But what do you start looking at next? Because there's heroes like Viper with the Viper Strike, obviously, that still deals very well with the Gyro. Or the other option I was going to mention, the Razor for Fata.
Yeah, always seems to be one of Fala heroes getting banned out in the second phase, and rightfully so. I mean, the player is very proficient at mid with his heroes, especially. Like he makes a Razor work almost every game. He loves that Viper, and I'm not sure if it's a Viper game so far, looking at the picks. But against Night Stalker and Bane, it's fine, certainly. Although Gyrocopter has a chance to scale against it. But Liquid, they have a potential lineup where they can snowball with just a Dazzle Darkseer, with the Darkseer doing relatively well in the lane and just having a very strong 5-man presence, even against the Gyrocopter. So it's certainly an option. Not the best of options in my head either, but you know they have a lot of options for sure with the Viper and Wind Ranger and whatnot.
Change things up a little bit. Unsure where this Night Stalker's flow off lane could be that support roaming Night Stalker, and now the Invoker's picked up again for Resolution.
Yeah, Resolution's mad. He's like, I'm gonna make this work this time, and he just ninja picked it. He didn't care what the next hero coming out of Liquid was, and fully anticipating whatever comes out. Just, I'm gonna Invoker into it, and yeah, looks like they have a lot more aggressive lineup this time around. Not so heavily reliant on 3, 4, 5 position heroes that got picked super early, kind of showing your cards on how you want to play aggressive. So this is a better Invoker setup for them, especially against heroes like Darkseer and Dazzle. The EMP is so good against these heroes.
Honestly, Resolution had a really, atrocious first 5 minutes, and no real fault of his own. The laning matchup wasn't great. He came back massively. Tornadoes were on point, EMPs were good. He had still like a 15-minute Orchid with Earn phase, and
yeah, huge kill on the Gyrocopter at bottom. Gave him like 800 gold, to be honest, even though.
He made it work for quite a period of time. Now, the only kind of question here for Empire is where's this Night Stalker go? And that's what Team are kind of looking for. The roaming NS is going to be the off-lane Night Stalker. Still let the clockwork out there. Okay, Matuma Man with a Slark, Wind Ranger for Fata, Dazzle for Kuro, Darkseer for a Jirax hero last. And honestly, I can see them picking up something a little bit wonky like an Ogre or something from Jirax. It's going to be, again, Team Liquid are so good at this, at leaving a support hero for their 5th pick, that they can just be like, well, you can counter your entire lineup without picking up a core. We don't need to, go all in on this hero counters that hero and rely on getting farm, rely on doing this or that. We just pick a hero that has a skill set which does a specific thing, specific way, which can't get kind of negated or nullified by anything you. I think that's one of the biggest strengths drafting-wise.
And it's ironic for me to say this too, but Slaughter was only picked in game 2, and it's like completely getting omitted in game 1 as well as here so far. If there's no Slaughter ban here on the 5th, coming out of Liquid's 5th ban here, I don't know. It definitely seems quite odd. I guess these CIS teams don't value it as much, even though Liquid is willing to first pick in another game. Even though they have a Wind Ranger here, they don't set themselves up for it because they first pick the Darkseer, and I mean, there's always the potential of running that Slaughter as 4 position. I know you've been talking about that for a bit now, but we'll get to see if Liquid does want to do it, because in my head, the hero is still very good this game.
Good thinking about it. What else could they actually look towards? Dual lane with the Darkseer is a possibility, which is, the Spirit Breaker ban is a good shout there. I want to have that dual lane running at you. What do you actually have? Because Darkseer +1 can be to handle. Sure what's actually going to be up, and there's the Clockwork ban I was mentioning before. Still out there if they want to run this Night Stalker 4 roll, which I kind of feel is their style. Have a low hardouts on that, then No Fear the Bane, and have Flow play. The trouble is I don't know Flow's hero pool that well. We've not seen a massive amount out of him. The kind of judging and gauging hero attribution to these players is a little bit awkward. Let's find out. Or I've got their 5th pick now, and this is something that they haven't gone and instantly said, right, this isn't the hero we want, we'll take it. They are still deliberating about this pick.
5 seconds.
I think it could be a Night Stalker offlane, but I think Night Stalker in general performs better from the 4-5 position, where he can just walk around the map and be a nuisance, and he's always off the map when he's supporting like that. So I think in terms of offlaners, there's the Slaughter available, there's an Earthshaker, and to be frank, I think this is a very good Furion game, but obviously that's a hero that's very limited to a certain number of teams that pick it.
Go for something. If they want to go aggro try, the Night Stalker Bane Gyro is definitely an aggressive try, and we've seen from other teams get picked up. But that's a disruptor. Whereas the hero against Slark and Wind Ranger, also against Darkseer and lane specifically. team fight wise, that kind of evens out Team Empire's draft very nicely.
Yeah, it does actually. I think their lineup so far it's the first time I would look at their lineup confidently so far and say this is a very strong draft and they have a very good chance at fighting Liquid, if not like even from an advantageous position. Because Liquid now, they're on the back foot. They still haven't picked their 5th hero, but there's a lot of tools to deal with Darkseer this game, and there's a lot of tools to deal with both Wind Ranger and Dazzle as well, because at the end of the day, if they're targeted by any of these spells coming out of Night Stalker or Invoker, they're susceptible and they're very vulnerable in general. But the Broodmother pick, yet another counter pick coming out of Liquid, not the pick you would expect, would you? Especially after a Darkseer.
No. And this is what I was saying. The 5th pick for Liquid is always interesting. It's always kind of one of those. Hang on a second, are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Can they legitimately just pick that hero right now? But yeah. I have this image in my head, and I'm sure they've done it. I know a team has done this before. I know a team has done Darkseer plus Brood before. I can't remember for the life of me who it was.
I do recall as well. It was somewhat recent too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
but
the past 2 or 3
I remember they
definitely.
4-positioned Darkseer.
Yeah.
And they just farmed woods.
I want to say it was Liquid as well.
I want to say Vici for some reason. It feels like they're the kind of team that would do it, because FY, if I recall correctly, he's been playing all these like jungle Bat Riders, like 4-position Windrunners, all these unorthodox 4 positions that are super greedy. Regardless, we haven't seen the players pick their heroes yet, and as I say that, Fada took up the Wind Ranger, so it won't be a mid Broodmother. It'll be a mid Broodmother on Mind Control, who's already got 2 sentry wards to him, I think. So it'll be offlane and Kuroki jungling on the 4-position Darkseer.
I know that Kuroki has been playing some 4-role Bat Rider recently. I know he had 1 or 2 games of that past couple of... I really want to know, if someone can tweet at me at Dota or let us know in the chat. I really want to know now who was playing the Darkseer plus Brood combination. I've got a feeling maybe it was Vici first and Kuroki's been watching and kind of dealing a couple of drafts here and there from them. But yeah, it was a game against CIS Rejects that Kuroki did the 4-role Bat Rider. Didn't go amazingly well. Did end up losing the game, but it's one of those things where you don't expect it in the draft, and maybe you can't react to it in time. Find out soon enough, because Iron Shell plus Brood, if the little Brood member wasn't annoying enough, put an Iron Shell on her, it's even more tough to deal with.
I'm not too sure if that synergy will come into play, personally. But if it does come to pass, then these supports are very susceptible, and they have to be very careful. I do think Empire, like the Broodmother's a good pick here for sure. I think Empire have the right tools to fight it, especially in the mid game. They have a lot of pick-off potential, but there's an engagement here.
Dropped as well, actually, and they just bait it out. Mind Control didn't know what was about to hit him until he gets back into the web. Still battling it out here against the rest of the heroes as Kuroki. The Rocket Barrage with the healing wave there. Silent is dropping incredibly low. Mind Control walks forward, but he's already dead. They get the kill down onto him, and with Mind Control, Iron Shell's up. The last hit's up on top of the high ground. A 2-for-1 exchange there, but the bounty runes. That was 2 bounties for the Radiant.
Also, Matuma Man's forced itself here because he lost so much life points going for that bounty rune that he didn't get. So total win for Empire, I would say, even though they're down to kills 1-2, they still got the first blood as well, I believe.
Yeah. Pretty much even. The only difference is the experience gain for Liquid is a little bit higher there. The difference you really get. So offlane Night Stalker is here with the Bane. The Bane Elemental are going to be helping out a little bit. This is going to be awkward for Matsu, honestly. Night Stalker, good armor, good HP early on. There's the Bane just to go and right-click him down. The fact that you're actually running Darkseer aggressive jungling here. Kuroki is overtaking the Satyrs in the Radiant camp. There isn't a defensive tri-lane. It's Jirax plus man against the Bane, the Night Stalker, and this is awkward for them, honestly. So they're going to have to make this up in other lanes. The Wind Ranger against Invoker, the 1v1 in a vacuum should be good for them. But then Silent at bot. Mind Control needs to get these sentries down because there's one watching him right now, and Silent's getting this damage pumped out pretty consistently onto the Broodmother. And when it goes back, can't quite find the kill. We're hoping it would drag him a little bit further, a little bit closer towards the Gyrocopter's barrage.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure why he glimpsed there. I feel like it was a pretty big usage of mana for the 100. He's not even level 2. And now Kuroki's coming in with that Iron Shell trick that you were talking about. Let's see how effective it'll be.
Look at the low head ounce. Not massive damage, of course, you know. Fire League is not that strong, doesn't have a big army of them. And at Mind Control, you know there's a sentry there, but a little bit wary about what's going on with the dust. The Flat Cannon is flying out onto Mind Control, but he gets away with a surge from Kuroki. It's level 2 at a good timing.
Yeah, but they're still investing a ton of resources, Empire, to make this lane work for them. So in that sense, what Mind Control is doing is not too hurtful. Oh, and he's gonna get the kill!
Oh, look at that! And without Dust now, without anything left to find Mind Control. What a pretty good lane to go on with Soul Ring, Tangos, he's got regen galore, Kuroki. Where's Kuro going? He surges around the mid lane, now he's running up the top rune, he'll get a bounty for himself. And I guess he's gonna leave it.
Yeah, he's gonna leave it for Dota, I think. You know, that gank, a Darkseer with Iron Shell is usually very bad news for whoever the Darkseer is going on. But the Invoker is one of those heroes, because he has Cold Snap, he can actually deal with it. Oh, and Resolution.
Shackle shot, right click's not gonna be enough with the class up and Ghost Walk.
Oh, nicely done.
In Sparta. Take a little bit of a punch there from Resolution, but now Kuroki. Got an aggressive jungle, now he's gonna go safe jungle, he can stack and pull, he can farm. Get himself up into the, I guess, did he buy a bottle or something for himself? Soul Ring. Okay.
Yeah, Soul Ring. Yeah. He's actually very high level. I didn't think he was going to get this much EXP. I'm not... Maybe he was around for the death of the Disruptor or something too. But hold that thought, Mind Control is going to go down here, I think.
He does get a kill over on the Disruptor at the same time though. Silence. Well, they'll have to learn to farm for a little bit up at top. No fear, taking a pummeling out from Jirax, but the Nightmare is onto my Summer Man. And he's run out of salve. He's got a couple of tangos left, and with, I guess, Shadow Wave there to heal him up. Salve from the Dazzle. Fine, that's top lane.
Yeah, we didn't get to touch up on top lane too much, but this is actually a very strong lane. The Night Stalker and the Bane. Two very strong early laning supports. I mean, well, I say support now, but this Night Stalker is playing 3 position this game. And, of course, that's gonna really disable the Stark's ability to free farm in the lane. And I think they've been doing a good job so far. The Man's only got 11 CS at 4 minutes, not a position he wants to be in. Now it's nighttime, so even though they both have full night vision, Night Stalker's still definitely stronger until Stark gets level 6.
Silent is incredibly low on the old HP here.
Middle tower is
Left and left, I guess to bring himself a salve or something, but there's no upgraded courier for the Radiant just yet. The Bane boots Observer Wards, not getting the flying courier, and looks like Aloha answers the same kind of story. They need these boots, so it's no real surprise that they've kind of opted for that over the flying. But a little bit late in the day, and Silent would love to have a salve being brought out to himself and Mind Control. But no sentries left. 2 Radiant sentries down here, and Observer Ward honestly is amazing up against the Broodmother. We're seeing it time and time again. In fact, that the majority of the time there's a web in this area, and you just see that transitional movement from here to here, where he tries and escapes, and he moves up over that little waterfall back to the safety of his tier 1. This gives perfect vision. Sentry over the dust, and know exactly where the Brood is going. Silence. Is he going to do the Ring of Regen trick? It looks like he is. Yeah, buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it. I love it when little stuff like that was happening. The ultimate efficiency out of these items. Matsuma Man has pounced forward, and there's another Void here. He's dead! Flo gets the punch in, and Jirax is not going to have a good time either. He'll try turn and fight with the Shadow Wave. Maybe he can do enough damage back to Flo. Just going to have to try and grave himself and outlast his opponents. He's got a TP, and there's no mana left on this Night Stalker. Oh, there's the Mango. Want to pop it just there. Down at bottom lane, Kuroki's diving behind tier 1. He'll find Aloha out to Iron Shell. That's a solo kill.
Yeah, he dropped a nice kinetic field and he was able to walk away, but he decided to turn and I guess try to bait Kuroki in. And then he just died. That was a really cocky move by him, actually.
Mind Control did go down while we had the fight going up at top. Broodmother, that's the point. 2, 3, and 1, you know, this is a okay start for a Brood. It's not the full lane domination, but you're not giving too much away. You're hitting the vital levels, you know, level 5, you've got the 3 in spawn spiderlings, and this is where you start to really ball out of control. Once you get the level 3 in the spin webs, you take control of enemy jungle, you start running towards supports when they're pulling. It's just going to come down to Silent and how well he can utilize Flat Cannon here to control spiderlings. Maybe get up in the face of the Brood a little bit.
No, so far the Broodmother's been getting some kills here and there, and of course he's had some decent amount of presence, but not only due to the sheer amount of resources that Empire is pooling to the safe lane, but just because of how well they're playing too. They're really nullifying the presence of this Broodmother, what he's been doing. And again, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Kuroki's playing a 4-position Darkseer. He's 2-0 and 2. You can never forget the amount of effect they would have had on different heroes, especially when they're off the map in certain situations. At the end of the day, this Darkseer, he's just taking a lot of farm, and he needs to get really, really big for this to work.
Silence level 6 here, and mind control, he's gone a little bit too deep.
Yeah, it's just an easy kill. Even the Night Stalker's coming in now, and they're going to be able to spot out Kuroki if they scout him out in the woods, of course.
TP. Using it just yet. Kuroki, level 6 now with a wall. Ready and available. How are we looking mid lane though? It's something we haven't really paid attention to. The Invoker
Pretty even, neck and neck, I would say.
It is?
Yeah.
So I guess without the supports rotating in, both of these side lanes have been relatively static. We've had Darkseer running from mid to bot a little bit, but there hasn't been... Oh, did he just cancel his TP? Yeah. There hasn't been the kind of rotating supports that can open up avenues for kills. There's no stuns, there's no big action heroes to actually make things happen here. It's just get slot farms for Liquid, Darkseer a little bit of gold, maybe head into the mech, while Empire, the item timings. Phase boots up for Invoker, level 8 hit, so he's got the 3 in Wex, 4 in Quath, he's got damage, nice EMP timing as well. Now it's hit daytime, Night Stalker does start to wane a little bit, so it's just sit back and farm even more.
So he won't be able to get the bottom room, but he will get the top one. It is a regen, of course, he's full, so it doesn't really matter too much, but it does deny up the Windrunner's potential of grabbing it. And Vada responds accordingly, saying, I'm just gonna have to bottle crow. But yeah, the neck and neck matchup at mid, I would say in the long run, this actually favors Invoker. Because Invoker, when he gets his first item, he's able to make plays off of it, whereas Wind Ranger, you need the Ags and you need to kind of keep farming and rely on your ability still. But overall, again, I think Empire's in a pretty good spot this game.
I'd be inclined to agree. The one big question mark is this Broodmother, and if Silent has to stay down here and they have to put supports down here constantly to deal with this, that does leave them a little bit susceptible to Wind Ranger once she does have a little bit more gold. It's the point booster. Once she has the point booster to tank her up a little bit, moving towards the top lane. Bane, Night Stalker, they're a little bit tanky. They've got a little bit of survivability. You've got a ton of damage coming out of Slark, and look at it being pumped out right here. The TP comes in from the Invoker now, looking for the kill onto Matu. He does pounce TP away while Dazzle chase down. And that'll be the Cold Snap into kill, unless he can grave himself. No, he can't. No, he cannot. Cold Snap and Void, a little bit too much. Down the bottom lane though, Mind Control is eyeing up Silent. Bottle charges through. Is that Silent? He's bought himself a bottle. Glimpse back onto Mind Control, back into danger, but out of the cooldown. They won't catch him. With the kinetic field, they'll hold him in place a little bit. He turns back to try and fight, but Silent is a little bit too tanky, and Flo has joined the battle with no fear here as well. They don't want to walk through the wall. That's a heavy commitment for a Broodmother. Once again, rotating, 2 or 3 heroes down here to deal with that one hero.
You know, what I fear about this Liquid lineup the most is that right now, in this stage of the game, if the Broodmother gets shut down the way she's getting shut down right now, they actually have no solutions to make plays on other parts of the map. A lot of it falls on the fact that they have a Wind Ranger going up against Invoker, which is going to be a wash depending on how the first couple of waves go. Because this is a very CS dependent lane. Whoever gets the early CS and early denies will get the level advantage. And then you can apply a lot more pressure that way because both heroes are kind of hard to kill. But as it stands, there's just no sources of damage coming out of Liquid. You have Matuma Man who needs another at least 10 minutes to be able to get either a Midas or a Shadow Blade plus Treads or whatever he's opting for, and then be a force, be an impact around the map. But as without that, you have a 4-position Darkseer who's over-leveled and somewhat over-farmed, you could say. But again, I just don't see the impact. I don't think it's enough to go into the Gyrocopter and disrupt this game.
Going back to our previous question, it was during the Nanyang Championships, it was VP. They had DK Phobos Brood and FNG Darkseer.
Did they win that game?
The combo. I don't know. I just know the teams and the players that picked it up. It was against VG.
Yeah, okay, that's why I thought it was VG. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they lost. I can't recall exactly, but I remember reading some snippets about that. I just don't think this is that good. I don't see any damage coming out of Liquid, and I honestly don't see the synergy. There's nothing with the vacuum wall this game. Wind Ranger's just that one hero. She's always just going to be a hero on her own, and I think Invoker kind of hard counters her in the mid game. For reasons like this, it's very annoying.
Big win run, but hey! Just gets out, but dragged straight back in. The glimpse into death, it looks like it's Fanta. Oh, the hit!
Oh!
It doesn't get him! The stick charges were just
he's gonna see him with the urn though. He's gonna finish him with the urn.
And catch it.
Resolution?
Fanta, juke, jive, hide, get the hell away, but he still gets it in. That urn should be able to tick him over and kill the Wind Ranger. Slowly but surely. Resolution gets another kill.
So there it is. Again, only what's kind of expected. This Darkseer is just gonna keep trying to chase around the map and find whatever he can find, whether it's just a save with a surge or even a nice play with a vacuum there, to be honest. Too little in the end, just short of whatever he needs to bring out. This Bane's just holding the top lane alone. It's about to hit level 6. Kind of slow considering all things, but again, he hasn't found any kills, so that's understandable as well. And the most important thing for Liquid right now is that Matuma Man has to get big as soon as possible, and I imagine he's going to opt for the Midas because of this. He has to actually 1v5 this game. That's what the Slark pick is for.
Yeah, looks like it. Because in the previous game where the Juggernaut, Silent farmed very well. Goodness, where did that die? I don't have my courier hotkeyed up on this account.
I think Broodmother sniped it.
We're in the Radiant Jungle somewhere. Alright, I've given my main account to my girlfriend so she can play Fallout 4, so I'm on a Smurf for this one, and I don't have the spectator hotkeys all set up. No courier viewing. Silent getting chased down by the Brood. Fast here as well, and looking for the Shackle lining up. Finds it with a power shot spiraling, but in comes Resolution. Tornado into cooldown. The Grave from Jirax will keep Mind Control alive for a bit longer, and the Shackle shot back onto Silent. But Nightmare's there, holding in place, back into wall, and it looks like Father should be okay. Escape this one, but the rest of his team, collateral damage maybe, as Jirax, he's trying to find a sweet spot, trying to find somewhere to hide. But there is nowhere to hide. The Empire strikes. Silent, dominating streak for him, 4-1-3. Phase boots the Yasha. And this is the point I was going to come to. The previous game, Juggernaut, he had a ton of last hits. It was like 70 CS at 10 minutes or whatever it was. He had the highest net worth by far, but he never got to do anything with it with the Juggernaut. In this game though, the Gyrocopter with level 11 at 13 minutes. He's got level 2 cooldown, he's got level 4 Rocket Barrage, he can farm stacks, clear jungle, farm to his heart's content. He also does very well against all of Liquid's heroes, and
Exactly.
And he has like 5 people to set up for him. Tornado, Kinetic Field Glimpse, Nightmare, Fiend's Grip, and even the Night Stalker with Avoid Silence. There's just everything building up for Silent being a absolute beast in it.
That's all it really comes down to, heroes like Wind Ranger. Oh, she's actually about to go down.
Yep, Silent with the beast mode, DT. And that Rocket Barrage. Jirax actually in a little bit of trouble himself as the Grave goes out onto the Dazzle. Silent is caught behind the Tier 1 tower, and Matuma Man
they can't kill him, man.
The DT rune from Silent is clearing through one after the other. Kuroki searches away and gets himself out. Wind Ranger and Dazzle both dying, and the Tier 1 follows straight after.
And in the meantime, Aloha Dance is just grabbing himself some levels, EXP, and farm at the top lane here. He's 0-5, but his impact is still going to be relevant throughout the entire game, just because they have the picks for it. And Broodmother's about to die at bottom now.
Yes, he is. Resolution. He said he was angry. He said he wanted to make up for.
Oh, he's mad. He's mad, Durga.
15-minute Orchid Phase earn. This is even like 10 times better than game number 2.
Yeah, and again, like this game, Invoker's really strong. Like he can solo kill all of these heroes, especially Matuma Man, who doesn't have a Shadow Blade yet. This is looking like a real grim game for Liquid already. Their picks, they're just not adequate enough to fight in the mid game against this Invoker, Gyrocopter, this 5-man lineup. Really, like aside from the Bane, every hero is a threat, and even Bane to an extent. If he comes from a Vogue with Fiend's Grip, he can set up a snipe on anybody, even Matuma Man.
See with that Midas. See how it progresses a little bit later on, but supports for Empire this time around. Talk about Liquid and how great they do. Getting items up in their supports. Jirax has been a martyr in this game a little bit, not getting a massive amount of farm. The Darkseer maybe makes up for a little bit with the fact he's got mech. Usually the mech is an indication of we group up and we fight. We try and actively do things, pressure into tier 1 towers, get objectives and take down play heroes here and there. But Wind Ranger, not ready to fight yet. Dazzle, level 7, you could feasibly run yourself in there, but the Broodmother, you go and gank onto the Broodmother lane, something that people have been talking about, Broodmother was always, leave her alone, she does her own thing. But now teams have kind of transitioned into this, maybe if people want to gank the Broodmother, we counter gank them. Is that what Liquid try and look to do here, bait Brood?
I don't know, man. I just don't know if that's a thing anymore. I don't think they have the damage to do it, nor the AoE. Like they're just lacking too many items and too many spells to be able to accomplish that the way they envision this game. I'm starting to look back on it. I feel like Maybe it's the Dazzle and the Darkseer. Maybe those heroes they don't accommodate each other that well. Maybe it's just the fact that they had to pick Slark because they're going up against these cores that don't scale that well against Slark. To be honest, Slark is really good against like every hero that Empire has, but only under the condition that the Slark has farm. Because if the Slark doesn't have farm, even Disruptor is a threat where you just glimpse him back and silence him, or you have a Gyrocopter that's too fat and just killing your entire team in the process, or many things. And it's really gotten to that point where Slark, if I'm looking at the net worth right now, he's at 5k and Silence at 9k. So the difference is massive. And this difference, I feel like, it's only going to grow even with the Slark getting Midas, because they're going to get choked out around the map with the map control. But if the Darkseer does become somewhat relevant, they force some fights with the mech and somehow win a fight, or they're able to just keep the lanes pushed out. Because Empire, they don't have too many good out-pushing heroes, except the Gyrocopter, right? Like these heroes are always moving around the map between the first 4 of those heroes. They just look for plays, look for vision with the Night Stalker, look for a disruption, look for a glimpse. So, you know, Liquid, they have to push out the lanes and survive. For the most important thing right now is to just survive and farm.
So dodge. If you get picked off, don't try and save it. Like, don't get stuck in that situation where someone's dead. Don't go in and save them.
Yeah, don't be a hero. Don't try to save your friend. Whoever gets out at this point is probably gonna die.
Yeah.
And again, their turn potential is just not that great right now because they need a lot more items to be a threat on the Slark.
Sure. Even looking at Fata, he needs to pick up the pace a little bit here. I think Empire have done pretty well as controlling runes against this mid-Wind Ranger. Time and time again, we see the Wind Ranger pick up a haste, an invis, a DD, something like that, move onto the side lanes and make action happen. Resolution, he's been taking top rune, the supports from bot have been really controlling bot rune area as well. And it's really only been bounty runes for the Wind Ranger at this point. I don't think she's had too many active runes to go and actually make anything happen. Interesting to see though, that he hasn't brought his Orchid out to him just yet. Oh yeah, his courier's dead, never mind. Ignore me, I forgot his courier had died, so yeah, that's exactly why he's not brought it out. But once he gets himself with silence, like you're saying, any single one of these heroes is screwed. Absolutely done for. Unless Matuma Man can get the Dark Pact off. Stop. At this point, during the night time, Empire can play tons of mind games with Liquid. Because if you don't know where 2 out of the 5 heroes are, they could be anywhere. Got no vision. Liquid have, not a single ward up on the map, do they? Yeah, they see nothing but the creeps. So at this point, the fact that Gyro is farming jungle, you don't know where he is. Okay, you see the Invoker Disruptor down at bottom lane. Night Stalker's now running out of vision, he could be moving. Finding the Slark up at top lane. Bane is kind of doing this, hey look guys, farming up here alone. That is like the biggest bait of baits, but there's no one there. He is just farming alone. I'd be super scared as Liquid to actually go and kill that Bane off, because still, he's got 850 HP. Nightmare, Brain Sap is up to level 4. Nuke power to do it. They do. Even overall support's difficult to kill. Hello, you are okay? Find out soon. Episode number 2. Team Empire pausing.
It's the CIS pause. I imagine it's gonna take some time.
Usually they tell us what's wrong. Like, mouse is broken, the cat on
Do
fire, or something like that. Yeah. Like, sometimes they pause for no reason, and you don't find out for a couple of minutes, but usually they tell us what's going on. There we go. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised he connected back into the game. That alone is a feat.
Oh dear, we're not going to use the D word. Not happening. We actually haven't seen.
Dire's bottom tower
We haven't seen that in quite some time.
Yeah,
people have calmed down quite a bit, but
yeah.
Game
You almost made it yourself.
We're not going to continue with this topic any further. What?
NS? Yeah, it looks like he's not moving or something. I don't know.
Oh dear.
They're definitely having some issues. Again, man.
Yeah.
CIS Dota. When there's a pause, man. Oof. You never know.
Well, I swear it hasn't happened in like 3 weeks, so it's going to be one of those times. D2CL Grand Finals, there's a fair amount of money on the line. But we'll cross our fingers. Pray to the Night Gods, Nightman, Dayman, or the Nightman, and hope the Night Stalker gets back into the game.
Sounds good. Pay for the Russian ISPs.
Yeah. Yes, it's the ISPs, definitely. It's the routing, it's the cables. That's the problem. Yeah, being flooded a little bit as they go under the sea through the Mediterranean. Actually, that's something I found really interesting, is the link between like Europe and Africa that then goes like east across to like Middle East and Turkey and stuff. It gets knocked by sharks and boats sinking at like 50 times a year or something. They have to do continual repairs.
That's still... Huh?
Yeah, the Mediterranean, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the Mediterranean link of fiber optic cables, the link Europe with Africa and stuff. It's crazy how much money they have to spend repairing that, just because like boats are sinking or submarines not like, whoops, we accidentally ruined the internet for Africa, sorry! We'll just carry on.
Yeah, just because I'm in like a pretty landlocked region in general, I'm not too exposed to that sea life type of thing and the perspectives that come with it. But you know, every now and then you'll hear something about the Bermuda Triangle or Somalian pirates or something like that.
Somalian pirates.
I don't know, man. I'm not the one that lives in the Mediterranean.
Dude, that was a huge thing in the news, 2 years ago? It was just like non-stop. Somalian pirates have captured another cruise liner.
Yeah,
and taken hostage an American president's daughter's wife's cousin's dog and holding it to ransom for $350. Like, okay. I
mean, for me, it's a foreign idea. Like, it's not just because it's a different part of the world, but again, like my lifestyle just has nothing of that sort incorporated. Even when people tell me like they go on like luxury cruises and stuff, the first thing I worry about is the ship life of I guess the southern cabins and what do you call those the crew with the sailors and all those guys. Like I've read some documentaries in the past about like very harsh living conditions on those cruises for those workers.
Oh really?
Especially the illegal immigrants and those kind of people. Like it's a very desolate lifestyle in many ways, and you know, a lot of tough things happen around the world that you never really think about.
I joke a little bit about the Somalian pirates, but it is a real issue, you know, and it's the same in Southeast Asia. There's Indonesian, Malaysian pirates, and it's just something that you rarely really think about. You know, you're living in Europe, there's no pirates, but it's kind of like you said, a distant thought. Like you hear about in the news.
Ignorance is bliss, man. We're all so damn sheltered, it's insane.
First world problems. Even when I lived in like Saudi or in Southeast Asia, I lived in Brunei, we were living in, you know, expat compounds. We were living with Brits and Americans and stuff like that. And sure enough, you interact and you go out shops and stuff and actually talk to local people, but you don't live with them. You know, you're still kind of segregated in that weird kind of way, especially if you go to like a British school. You don't get that full experience of actually living abroad, which is... It is super sheltered, especially when I lived in Saudi. Like that was full on. You live in an enclosed area with stone walls, with only like British school teachers living with you. Then a kilometer down the road, it's all American compound, all Americans living in there. And every time you ask an American guy working there or an American family, like, oh, so what do you do? We're teachers at this school, blah blah blah. You know, your son goes here. We teach your son. And every single one, if they work for the embassy or they, you know, didn't want to really release their information. Kind of like in Narcos, where, you know, the series Narcos that was released recently, where they say, oh, we're janitorial services for the embassy. In Saudi, they'd all say, oh, we're telecommunication experts. And they don't want to give away that they're actually working for Halliburton or anything, which a lot of them freaking were. Or they're working for, like, you know, missile detection systems for the Saudi military. They kind of just say, you know, doing stuff. We're not going to tell you exactly what we're up to, but we're here. We're living in a locked compound. The only way you can actually go and do fun stuff in Saudi is to go to American compounds, because there were no cinemas, there were no bowling alleys or anything like that. Yet, if you wanted to drink alcohol as well, my dad had to go to the British embassy to drink alcohol.
Oh yeah?
That's all banned over there. Because
how many trips did he take every night?
Yep. Drive over there, you know. Drink driving laws don't really exist.
I see. Wild lifestyle indeed.
Come on, Flo. Talked about pirates, alcohol. Oh, the admin's getting a little bit impatient now as well.
Yeah, it's always great to talk about alcohol, especially to, I guess since we're still on live, the many viewers were definitely underage.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Every
you
single-
mentioned smoking to me too, right? In the Skype chat, is that how big is that of a thing? Because I responded to you, right? Like I personally stay away from that because not only do I not smoke, but I've kind of grown into the stigma that smoking in general is not something you want to associate with. But I mean, every now and then, of course, like I mean, I'm of Korean blood, and us Koreans, when we go to like LAN cafes and people they just drop a Dota game or something, and they come out of like a tough, crushing defeat from a 5-man stack,
Yeah.
all 5 of them just after the game's over, they'd get up their chairs, just walk outside, smoke a puff or two. It's like a ritualistic habit at that point, and wondering maybe it's the same for you after a game.
It's the same. I quit smoking about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and now I'm using cigs. But yeah, I used to smoke a ton when I lived in Southeast Asia. It's pretty much the same thing. You play a Dota game, you play a map of CS, and
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
30 minutes, 45 minutes of a game, and then you're outside having a cigarette. You end up having a smoke every 45 minutes or so. It's ridiculous. And I know
Yeah.
the same is with a lot of CIS teams. A lot of them are smokers, but I kind of started thinking about it. I don't envision NA Dota people as smokers. There's European CIS. They do like to go and have a smoke after a tough game or if they need to relax a little bit. But I don't know. Americans just don't seem like that kind of people.
Yeah, the CIS actually. Now that you bring that up too, I think the Russians they definitely do that as well. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Russians they fit the image of like more lawless, boundless people. I guess it's a stigma that kind of spreads with Putin being one, and then of course it's like generalized the whole country just doing crazy stuff, especially like the parkour ones. I mean, I've seen so many parkour videos from Russian people. Like they get on top of these. I don't even know. Like they're not skyscraper type of buildings, but they're just upstanding structures that human beings don't belong at 100 meters up into the air, into that altitude, and they're there with their little GoPro cameras just looking down and smiling, and my feet start sweating just watching the videos. Like, are you crazy? What are you doing? Like one gust of wind, I
Yep.
imagine these people just die, but
Nope,
they're insane, man. Like, how do you do that?
I'm not a big fan of heights. I can't handle that.
Yeah,
it's
that
not
stuff it gets me shaking in my boots. Let me
Like-
tell you.
Going to like theme parks and stuff like that, I'm okay with the rides where you're like in the cart and it goes on the rail, on tracks and it goes up and down and round and upside down and whatever. I'm fine with that. But the rides where it's the vertical, you go straight up and you drop straight down.
Oh yeah, the drop zones.
I'm-
Oh my goodness. concern.
Yeah. Someone gives them the big old D. They'll actually stop it. Right. There we go. Oh,
Big
holy
old
crap.
D.
Gyrocopter has 160 last hits.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
And Flo has reconnected.
I reconnected just before Flo did. Perfect
Yeah.
timing. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Let's hope that he stays reconnected and doesn't die to creeps, because at this point, you know, he's maybe gonna die to... Oh, bollocks. No. Wait a second, what is going on? Okay,
What's
there
up?
we go. No, it was showing an XSplit, but my monitor wasn't showing anything for some reason. If we have issues midway, I will have to go and switch PC or something like that. But yeah, it's okay for now. Giving me a bloody heart attack though. They're ready? What?
I mean, I hope so. Empire's not saying anything, aside from a couple Russians.
He's got 500 ping or something. Robots. 500 something. But I don't know how to read it.
Well, I hope the admin comes crashing down with the decision, because this is...
It's time. Might go and post it. Oh, okay, there we go. Resolution 2K ping. Here we go. Let's play some Dota. Resolution's decision. He's the admin now.
Hmm.
Yep. Offsets it.
I'll return the favor.
So, game number 3, best of 5 between Liquid and Empire. We've gone about 55 minutes, almost an hour into this game, I think, with about 16 minutes of actual playtime. Honestly, a little bit crazy. We finished the last game at 7:45, and then we had like a 10-15 minute break, and now it's 8:50. Hours of internet connection.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, they're just gonna unpause. This is the right move. Yeah.
Oh, well played, Empire. Stepping up to the mark. Becoming admins yourself, and honestly, they've even without the Night Stalker, they've still got a very strong lineup here that can deal with Liquid.
Yeah, that's the thing, eh? This is actually one of those games where they have this lead and they have the draft that's necessary to be able to take it 4v5 if possible, and they can actually micro the Night Stalker as well. So, Resolution just getting another kill. Pretty nice.
Like Alohanat might be giving up his life for this. He glimpses Fata back. He's on the run. Fugitive. As I have.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures
Alright.
are fortified.
I don't know how many of you. In any case, since I'm not a good play-by-play type of thing, I talk about the game, how it's progressing, be more analytical about things, and just discuss the general progression of the game more than casting as a whole until my partner Durka gets back.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Bury me beneath the endless grasses.
Oh, I didn't recognize that kill at mid. They were just making a play at the mid tower, and there's an orchid, but I think because of the Resolution won't be able to get him off. Moonbin's coming in. Crow's getting chased down a bit. He doesn't have Surge, so he might actually just die to this. He has Mech though. He has Mech and Vacuum as well. Meantime, they micro-flow to grab a snipe on Jerax on the dash. And the rest of them, they do get out. The Tuma-Man showed the... Oh, I see. I actually have my Skype muted to keep it unmuted. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just talking about the game in general, just question a bit more analytical than
Radiant structures
Flo
are
obviously
fortified.
hasn't returned, but Got 1300 gold. I'm not sure if they fixed this where
Radiant's bottom
there's something
tower
with the
is
gold
under
on the
attack.
disconnected
Radiant's
player
bottom
or
tower
like an
has
abandoned player. I guess he's not abandoned,
Dire's
so
middle tower is under attack.
case that he'd never come. He's close to X, but I don't think he can buy it at this. General movements happening out of Empire. 3 heroes at bottom, but other spiderlings are all scouting them out, so it opens up the play, or rather opens up the map for things elsewhere. Empire's just gonna power shut down this wave, farm, and still relatively being, I would say. Empire's leading with the top 2 heroes on net worth. There's a play mill on Shivas, I guess. Although you can do the Queen Pain style where you go AC with the Orc. I'm not sure if he wants to transition to that. He definitely can, but Shivas he might be able to just take over the fight. And again, a lot of squishy heroes that are very reliant on a long duration fight. Bottom now, he's getting. There is a tornado. Oh, it missed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That's gonna be big. You're not gonna be able to turn around because obviously all of Empire are coming. Nice vacuum. He's still dead, I
Radiant's
think.
top
There is a
tower
grave,
is under
however.
attack.
3 kills for Empire, basically. And
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
a real product of the early game, I would say. Draft was still a big thing for Empire. This had a lot of
Radiant's
aggression
top
and
tower is under
Liquid.
attack.
The 4 position Darks, the Omni Knight, they can turn fights. It's a hero that's just gonna go around and farm. And I've said it earlier, but even though his stats are really, he's got decent CS and he was like 2-0 and 2 for the longest time.
Dire's
It's just
middle
not a
tower
hero that's
is under
gonna
attack.
be in position to accomplish synergy with any of the heroes. This was their first pick, so in that error this game, really exploited them. A lot
Dire's
of
middle
strong
tower
presence coming
has
out of 5
fallen.
heroes, and if the start doesn't get big, this is what's gonna happen. Constantly ran at. They just don't have the damage to fight what Empire throw at them. Tumberman gets to still nowhere big enough. Even if he goes down,
Radiant's
creeps like that
structures
below
are
the hill,
fortified.
he just gets sewn back into it wave or whatever. Nice Orchid coming out of Resolution, nice reaction, and he's actually gonna get picked off for this one, isn't he? That was no good, but as I say that, Silent actually popped B at bottom and killed off the Broom as well as a couple Spiderlings, I guess. But it was a BKB charge. In that sense, still okay with that. The most important thing is they repel the push, kill the Resolution. Kill the top highest net worth hero on the map. It's just gonna give you that much more gold and possibly EXP, assuming that they're snowballing to an extent. And Matuma Man getting a big chunk of that, really big deal right now, because again, he's the one that needs to 1v5 this game, because his teammates, they're kind of like playing the supporting cast, especially from the lane. Even Fada, he's 0 and 5. A Wind Ranger that's behind usually has no impact. At the end of the day, they're very single target focused heroes, very oriented towards snowballing, and the snowballing is like the last thing he's doing. He's bottling up Matuma, giving him some mana, and he has DD now, so they're gonna try to go for Roshan. And with Resolution being down as well as Low being out of the game, they're gonna be talk more about like who's microing this or they're thinking about more stuff. So it takes away their ability to think about like Roshan that could happen in
Roshan has
they
fallen.
recognize or saw it coming, but they couldn't react to it. Because they're not in the position to, especially without the Invoker. So this is when Liquid is catching up now. Now you see Matuma Man's farm, it's growing and growing. He's at 4k net worth in the bank. Not sure he's gonna go for a BKB next. Kind of might need it if he wants, but I'm not sure how much that would hurt his scaling. He really wants to just 6 slot as soon as possible. Be as strong to BKB to just snipe 1 or 2 always. As I say that, Jaro popped to pick Javelin, so Jaro's gonna go for Ooh, Matuma Man used ulti to get away there, and he's actually going for
under attack.
how Liquid want to take this is they want to take a big grand fight, but if they lose with the BKB, it'd be really bad. Like they might just lose the game off of that, because I think it'd be a push.
haste.
My life ends.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well-gotten gains.
More for your money.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Feeding, dying is over.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Arrow lies broken.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Where's my kitchen?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
A gift from the Tempest of Battle. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's structures
Empire victory.